Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for the Wreath of Snakes. This is the newest normal trial made available by patch 4.5 in Final Fantasy XIV, A Requiem for Heroes. Before we begin, I expect everyone to be very serious about the fight. You can't just snake your way to a win with this one. My name is Miztech and I'll be your trial guide. Fifth element is a raid-wide AoE blast. Shield and heal through it as necessary. Infirm Soul will target the primary target for moderate to high damage. Periodically, the boss will jump to a player and then cast one of two attacks. The type of attack can be determined by the symbol that flashes over the boss's body. If you see this circle on Mio's symbol, a quick casting point-blank AoE will hit anyone in melee range. All players will need to stay out of melee range for this attack. If you see a dragon ring around the boss, a massive room-wide attack will hit anyone not inside melee range. All players will need to collapse into the boss's hitbox as soon as they see this indicator. Players marked by these AoE circles will need to move away from one another to avoid overlap of the incoming serpent descending damage. KUJI-KIRI will create a crisscross pattern of AoE attacks. Find yourself a safe spot and stand in it. When the boss casts Summon SHIKI, he will disappear and summon 3 fan adds. Each red fan will tether to a damage dealer and deal massive damage in their direction. The blue fan will tether to a random healer and target them for damage that players must line up to share. To handle this, the raid can line up with the healer in the center of the platform, while the 2 tethered damage dealers can turn their fans to point away from the group so they're not overlapping extra attacks. Immediately after, 2 massive adds will create point-blank AoE circles from their positions on the edge. All players can move into the center here to avoid them. After this first AoE blast, they will tether to another 2 players while line AoE attacks cover the platform. The tethered players can run near their adds to ensure that their tether attack cones don't cover the entire platform, while everyone else ensures they're in a safe zone between the line AoEs. Immediately after, a number of head adds will spawn. These will be picked up by both tanks and burned down. They do explode when they die, so be careful not to kill them all at the same time. You want to stagger each kill to give healers the opportunity to top off the raid before the next blast. You'll need to kill all of the adds before Seryu's focus reaches 100 or you will die. At this point, he'll knock everyone back and a cutscene will play. When you return, you'll find yourself in the water. There will be a ring of white water that will make its way to the platform, drowning anyone in its path. Players will need to quickly get back to the platform to resume the fight. A number of blue Orochi will spawn on the east or west side of the platform and begin to move across, knocking back any players in their way. The raid will need to move to the same edge that they spawn on to avoid getting knocked off the platform and back into the water. This will happen often throughout this phase, so be ready to run to the appropriate edge. Periodically, a healer will be targeted for this lineup marker again. The raid will need to ensure they are in line with the affected player to properly share the damage. The boss can also summon this big boy on the north edge of the platform. The giant will raise his hands and slam them down on the platform in a sequence. Players will need to watch his arms and move to the other side of the platform to avoid getting hit. Eventually, the giant will attempt to knock back all players from the center of the platform. You'll need to position yourself near the center here, but not inside the circle, to avoid getting knocked into the water. After this attack, the giant will disappear and you won't have to worry about his hands for a while. The boss will leap to a random player again and cast either one of the in or the out attacks. Be ready to adjust appropriately to avoid damage and debuffs. You'll notice a repeat of a few phase 1 mechanics here. Handle these in the same manner as before. Eventually, the boss will spawn another round of tether adds. These appear in a different order than in phase 1, but are handled in the same way. Make sure the tether attacks aren't targeting the raid, and line up to share the healer's tether blast. Dodge the line AoEs and then spread the circles out. At this point, every new phase 2 mechanic will repeat until the boss is down. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we'll check out the extreme version of the trial. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.